We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1 billion, 300 million, trillion market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about the markets, the crypto markets. We have to talk about extreme fear in the markets that is actually at its highest point, so fear at the highest point, or you could say sentiment at its lowest points, where FUD is ranging, where stories about Bitcoin being sold off in masses is going around, and where there might be also a little bit an overextended fear here, which could imply that we're very close to the end of this move to the downside and very close to a very big move to the upside. And today we have a couple of things that explain what is going on in the crypto markets as a general. But then also we're going to talk about what is there to support the next move to the upside, and we want to talk about a little bit about Ecomi and Veve as well, what is going on in the project, how the data looks, and if we can resume a little bit of a bullish sentiment here. So all of that, make sure to stay tuned, all of that right now. So, good morning to all of you. I already see a couple of people in the chat. Trucking Hank is here. Good morning, PH. Good morning, my trucking rare hodler. And Energy is also here, our biggest whale. And Patrick is here. Good morning, Patrick, to you as well. So thank you all, my rare hodlers. There are many of them, you see it. I have difficulties to fit the rare hodlers here on the screen. So the next people that are, we have a couple of we have 2 sub 40 mints on the rare hodlers left over, and then we are already in the 40s. So no matter if someone unsubscribes after a while or not, that mint is gone forever. So you see the mint numbers here on the stream of the rare hodler. So if you want to become a rare hodler, you can just become a channel member on YouTube, and then you will be added to the rare hodlers. Next mint to give out is number 38. Hey, it's just me. What is going on? Good morning. So today I was researching yesterday also on the markets and what is going on at the moment, and it's just crazy. You don't know what to talk about first, because there's so many things happening at the same time in crypto. So there's never a dull day in crypto, that's for sure. And it's always exciting. I could make a stream every single day, and I would always have something to talk about, something to look at. But when you do that, in comparison, Bitcoin is moving so slowly. And yet again, if you look at stock markets, Bitcoin is moving so fast and so volatile. So I really cannot understand how someone can talk about the stock market all day. Hey, Green Lantern, what is going on? Good morning to you as well. Pro Legendary says, "Sup boys, who's ready for more blood in the street?" Oh yeah, absolutely. Hide the pain, hodler, in the house. We are absolutely, this is a good starting point here. We're absolutely ready for a little bit more blood in the streets. And it shows what is going on I mean, you guys remember we have been observing this falling channel. It has been sliced, came back up, and then we went to the downside. And the interesting thing is now at this level, no matter if you want to draw it like this as a horizontal, we are getting rejected. And this is, obviously it implies that probably we're going to trickle down here. How far low can we go? I don't know, but it enables us or gives us the chance to accumulate. And the funny thing is that this really coincides, as we will see a little bit later, with extreme fear levels. But you have to see that if we are looking at this level here, so this was the 27th of February, no one remembers anymore, but we had big green candles to the upside. We were at the same price level and we are actually headed into extreme greed. So this is how far you can go if you're just ranging sideways and then blip a little bit to the downside. This is how far you can go from greed and extreme fear at the same level. This is like in Germany with winter and summer. So in Germany, if you in autumn, if temperatures drop to 15 degrees Celsius, so I have no idea what that would be in Fahrenheit, but you just put it in a calculator. So if temperatures drop to 15 degrees in autumn, people are putting out their sweaters and taking out their sweaters and their jackets and use that. But when it's 15 degrees in spring, they just throw away all the clothes and are like, oh, it's summer, right? So same temperature, two different styles of using clothes, right? And by the way, not to mention that you can even have in summer 10 degrees or something like that, depending on where you live in Germany, or maybe everywhere in Germany. But anyways, that only on the side. So 2 times the same price. Just if you come from above or you come from below, it's perceived completely differently, right? So that is the thing. So we have a couple of people here. Guys, I ask you to smash up the like button for these live streams. It's really important for the stream to push it out, to get it to more people. If we get the likes, that is really good. So yeah, and thank you for supporting the channel. If you're not subscribed yet, do that as well. And let's look at what is happening. So yesterday we had the inflation numbers coming in, and inflation falls 0.1% in June from prior month, helping case for lower rates. That is the expectation. Of course, we need to see a little bit more to that, but we are now with a rate at 3%, around lowest level in more than 3 years. That is already really good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So you can see here the last time that we were around such levels is actually that graphic is a little bit weird to maneuver, but was 21st of April respectively, here March, of all time. Yeah, and then you have basically all time is the blue chart, and then you have the less food and energy, and you see less food and energy is 3.3%. So yeah, we see what was the driver here also in terms of that. Now the curve it has been consolidating, but it's looking downwards, and now I think the Fed, they will really, for the core CPI, they will really wait until it breaches to below 3, right? If you would do TA here, you would say you have strong support at 3%, okay? So they will probably keep the rate one more month and look at the next data if we see a 2.9 or 2.8 or something like that, right? And that not to say that they also can, like, they can jinx or how do you say, they can falsify the numbers. Yeah. Let's see here, guys. You're today. I know why. Yeah, the chat is very alive today. I know why. It's a freaking Friday. Everyone is excited. No, one more time through the hamster wheel, and then we jump out into a good, nice weekend. And everyone knows that this will be the last time that we hopefully this will be the last time that we are doing this with the hamster wheel, because after that everyone is like in financial freedom, and then we can stream the whole day, all day, and talk about how the Bitcoin bottom might be in at 90,000, something like that. That is the future crystal ball reading here. Let's see. Bitcoin waiting for the cycle to catch up. DCA all the way. I 100% agree with you, Green Lantern, and I think cycle is catching up. Smash up the like button for the cycle catching up. Chago Solis, good morning to you. Sven liked. Thank you very much for that. Fred says, what is your full-time job, PH? Listen, I've now worked 4 years in sales. Leading small sales department, and yeah, now I'm doing something very related to that, right? But yeah, that is my job. I hope that answers the question enough. Hey, hello from the USA. Yeah, hey James, what is going on? Hey James, let me know, what is the situation in the USA, like with the presidential candidates and so on? Like I always, or everyone here that is watching from the US, please let me know, because we're going to look at something super weird a little bit later that happened yesterday, and I just want to show this. But PJKX says hi, welcome to the stream, good buying levels, I agree. He told me he is oh my god, I'm not going to read that out, James, but that's not true. Fake news, James. Sven says, I feel like I am already 5 years in the hamster wheel. Yeah, I'm sure that I am, because I just have to look at my contract when I started, and it clearly shows. And it's it just should be a reminder to keep going, keep hustling, keep degening, so that we don't have to work until that age that our governments want us to work, because you know that we are running into a demographic mega problem in every Western country, because the birth rate is so low, and the baby boomers, they are going to very soon all the baby boomers, they are going to stop working, and everyone is like, oh my god, the inflation is the problem, and oh my god, whatever, like this and that war, of course a war for the country where it happens is a problem, right? But what people fail to, and governments don't never talk about it, is that the demographic problem is actually the problem, where we are really do not have an answer to yet. Robotics and AI, they can help, but we don't have an answer to how the small demographic age of like 30 years old and 25 years old and whatnot are going to sustain all those baby boomers going into retirement with in Germany at 65 and 67, 63 even, something depending on when they started, and everyone has to finance the retirement fund of those people, right? So yeah, that's going to be very interesting how that plays out, and we already see it. A couple of days, some German politician came out and was like, we really need to raise the retirement age to the level where in accordance with the life expectancy. And now for everyone like me and younger, it's already at 67. So that's basically, hey, you have to work your whole life to finance this retirement fund, and then when you're old and you have to pee in a bag and or you have to wear diapers, then you can live off your retirement, right? That is not what we want. So we're taking a shot at. So in my opinion, there are only two ways of making this happen, right? One is entrepreneurship. You build a company and you just make use of the leverage of, hey, you sell more products, you get more money, you can retire early, right? That is one way. The other way is crypto, because everything else takes too long to outperform the overall market to make pay you dividends. Like if you, for example, if you make it an Excel sheet, you can make an Excel sheet, put in like saving $1,000 or $2,000 every month, and put that into whatever, like an ETF that pays you 5% dividends, and yet then you put a 2% annual growth on it or so. If you know that calculation, if not, learn it, because that's very important to know how to calculate that stuff. And then you will see that let's say you're 40 years old, or let's say you're 30 years old, you will see that by once you're 100 years old, you can live comfortably on that one, right? So that is, yeah. Trucking says Biden's gonna get pushed out. Humble opinion from a Canadian. James says some people want universal basic income in the USA. That's a scary reality. Yeah, that is a scary reality, because that needs to be backed by something, right? But you also have to see that, listen, here are 20 people in the stream, right? Some streams have a couple of thousand. The overall numbers on crypto streams, where really a lot of financial stuff is going on and financial education is going on, is like less than 1 million. So you have really over 90% completely financially uneducated people in almost every country, right? In some countries, because it lacks education in general. But I mean, look back at your school time and ask yourself if you have received any financial education in school. Literally, not even in university you receive financial education. Yeah. Anyways, I digressed a little bit from what is happening here, but we have 20 people here, so that is really cool. So once again, please smash up the like button for all of that. So that is the CPI that came in, and here we see once more the numbers. I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but what is happening is that the probability of the rate to be lowered is going higher, right? With that, so there is an odd spike, so to say, that there will be a rate cut very, very soon. So this is good for us, because rate cut soon means probably crypto pump again. Yeah, zero financial education here. I mean, you're in crypto, so you probably get your financial education on a very fast pace, because crypto, the 4-year cycle, it basically teaches you everything by force. If you have $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 in it, it will teach you everything that you need to know. Probably, right? At least, I would say, at least an understanding of the market that many people that are in traditional markets can never get, because the cycle takes too long. Or you cannot see the global liquidity cycle really, right? What is your shilling there? Playing on margins? Yeah, okay. Good luck. I don't know what that is, but good luck to you, Antizermi. So the market is in extreme fear, and it's really not understandable, as I showed you before, because a couple of months ago we were at extreme greed at the same level, but now we hit 25 extreme fear. Before we were like, I think we were at 26, but now it's even lower with the market coming down again, and we see it here now. This is really dip territory, right? By the dip. Not financial advice, but that is where I would say this is where we usually dip out in these pre-bull run stages, or even in the bull run stages. So we see this super fearful thing, and then we come back. I hope that we are not so close at the cycle end. I'm probably we are not, but you can see it really here. Patrick Work is calling. Okay, see you next time, or you can watch it later. Yeah, no shilling. Let's go. We don't want the shilling. So how can you be fearful, right? Well, you can be. Let's watch this quickly, because this.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. You can beat President Putin.
I saw this morning. I found it so funny, but at the same time, it's just worrying, right? I mean, you have this guy here, and Zelensky, and it's like, hey, this is President Putin. I mean, it's the worst thing that could happen. And I mean, if it would be once in a couple of months that he says something like that, but he is really, yeah. I mean, so if you ever needed proof that the U.S. is not governed by the U.S. president, at the time of Biden is probably it, right? Because I mean, seeing him standing there and someone having to show him where the Chinese president is, right, to give him a handshake, and all, like, if you line up everything over the years that you saw, like that he forgets what he was about to say, that he forgets in general, right? I mean, how can you really believe that he did govern the U.S. in the last 3 years, right? And it's not hating on on his political party or on him, but it just really makes me think, if he is incapable of calling the shots and making actual decisions, then who is taking the decisions? Apparently it's not the US president, right? So yeah, that is pretty interesting. So, and he's going for another 4 years. You're right. Yeah, James, you're right. He's like 81 years old. He's going for another 4 years. I mean, so someone said that, and I found that really true. Someone said, whoever is like the medical guide for Biden is like doing an amazing job to keep him alive and capable of giving speeches and everything. Like really, yeah, exactly, pro legendary. I agree with you. Yeah, that is like the definition of a puppet. Who is really governing? Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like, we could put on our tinfoil hat and like, what is the most likely? Someone is doing that job for him behind the scenes, but who knows who it is, right? It's not even about his age, it's his cognitive ability. Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to the 90, there are very few people that have over the course of years every time a sharp mind. It's just, especially, I mean, he has good medical treatment, but yeah, the cognitive ability, that's a problem, right? Bill Clinton did a speech on Monday, 77 years old. Yeah, I mean, this is also something like, why does everyone want, and I believe no one wants this, but why do we always have to have politicians that are at the end of their life cycle, so to say, and that have probably difficulties to catch up with crypto, I was already say, but with tech understanding in general. So you have people that are coming close to 100 years. So that means that when they were born and when they were young, there was no internet, that's for sure. But there was sometimes even not really a telephone around and so on. And many have problems to go with the time. I mean, we saw it with Charlie Munger and with Warren Buffett, that these people have problems to understand the ever quickening cycle. And it will happen to us maybe as well at some point, right? I'm not hating on that, but I see the difficulty with my own grandparents, for example. So like, I see it with my own parents, that at some point you just have difficulties to go with the time. But why can't we have younger people in government that actually know what's going on and what the big challenges are? I mean, it's like there are literally still people that are calling crypto like a scam in times where it's already like, we have Bitcoin ETFs, we're going to have Ethereum ETFs and so on, right? So this is really crazy to me to understand that. Aliens, yeah, probably. Trucking hands as his wife, yeah, maybe, I don't know. He needs some milk. He needs some, I don't know, yeah, because the okay, not going to read that out loud, but I let you discuss in the chat, right? Xi Jinping, Putin, they all don't want to give up. Yeah, that's true. And there must be something like Xi Jinping and Putin also in the US, right? And it's not Biden. Yeah. Anyways, so this is interesting, right? As we're talking about how can you be fearful. So this was interesting to me. There is something that is called the Buffett indicator, officially crossed 195% for the first time in history. higher than the dot-com bubble, global financial crisis, and the 2022 C crisis crash. So you cannot see it because the chat is in the way, but put it here. So this is interesting, right? This is basically a bubble indicator, and it's already flashing, right? I mean, we see it here: 2000 crash, 2007 crash. On the other hand, you have to also see that you come up here to the C crisis, and it just goes higher and higher and higher and higher. So we just had our crash. So maybe there will be just this indicator will just coil up until we lead into a crash. And this is my theory here also. I don't think we will. I think we will have a big bust, but I think we have a money printing cycle before. And some years where everyone is like, I think the economy is getting better and better, and then there is the next bust. Yeah. So this indicator here is, I think it's good to see where normal territory should be, but we are out of that with our extensive money printing anyways. So the question is only how far can this bubble go, right? Yeah, elderly leaders doesn't really happen in UK politics so much. Does it in Germany? Not that old, but yeah, you have I don't know. You have everything. I mean, Scholz is not so old. Merkel was not so old. Yeah, it's not that type of age. I think that is. I mean, Obama also was not that old, right? If you look at the if you look at the US, look at Austria. They had Kurz, who was 30 something, I think, when he was elected. So it is possible to have leaders that are not that old. But on the other hand, like the US, I don't know what's going on, but in the last years, it seems like, I don't know, maybe an aging population wants to have people that are in the same age to say where things are supposed to go, right? Do you still believe in OMI at this point? You have to watch yesterday's stream where I outlined what could be happening with the MCP and how it can lead to value, but we will look at OMI in a second, and then we can talk about it. So let's quickly look at it. So this is interesting, right? Yesterday we explained why, and this is funny. You have all these big I watched so many big streamers, and no one cared to just do some basic research on why Germany is selling. I explained it yesterday. I can explain it here once again in some quick words. But what the most important thing is that, so Germany had these 50,000 Bitcoin confiscated, and now we're selling them off very slow. And then suddenly they started to really dump some Bitcoins into the market, right? And now they have 9,000 Bitcoin left only. So they are probably either today they're going to sell the rest, or tomorrow, I don't know if someone works at the LKA on the weekend, but they are, look at these sales. So this effect will go away over, at least in the beginning of next week, probably it's done, right? And it's not much left. It's 350 million. That's the average inflow of 1 or 2 days of like some spot Bitcoin ETFs. But they're going to dump this into the market, so a couple of more red days to be expected. Now, everyone is, this is Germany, this is the most stupid thing that Germany could ever do. It's not Germany, it's a state. The state is called Saxony. It's one of 16 states in Germany. It's in Eastern Germany, and the state confiscated. And whenever you confiscate and this product is not completely illegal, like firearms or whatever, then they are obliged to sell it to a confiscated. For example, confiscated car, they are obliged to sell it. Confiscated house, they're obliged to sell it, right? So, which means that they were obliged to sell this Bitcoin, and they cannot do anything against that. So I think that is what's going on. Someone posted something here, but it doesn't show up in my normal chat. What is that? They don't like. Let me see. They don't like the idea of Vice President Kamal taking over because it's funny, right? It blocks out, for me, it blocks out these comments, right? this is like as if YouTube does not let you. Why can't I just? I cannot make this chat small again. Okay, there we go. There you go. Okay. There you go. It's so difficult, but yeah, it's a very interesting debate for sure. It's a very interesting debate for sure. I see that you guys like to discuss some politics from time to time, so we should have that at the coffee as well. Yeah. It's almost too, yeah, it's too late to replace. It's for sure too late to replace. Anyways, this effect will go away. Now I have some very interesting effects that not many people have on their radar, which was said, and this is very interesting. So the CFTC chair Rustin Benem says 70 to 80% of cryptos are not securities. That is very interesting, right? I mean, I don't know what they're basing it on, but before, if you listen to SEC Gensler, it was like everything is a security, and now they said, under the Commodity Exchange Act, that 70 to 80% in cryptocurrency market are not securities, and we can even listen to this quickly. It's only 20 seconds, but here is, as he says, that Bitcoin and Ethereum are commodities. He repeats that. Very interesting, or very cool to hear.
Just last week, a district court in the Northern District of Illinois entered summary judgment in favor of the CFTC in a case involving fraud by an unregistered entity that promised steady returns in digital asset commodities such as Bitcoin and Ether. In its decision, the court reaffirmed that both Bitcoin and Ether are commodities under the Commodity Exchange Act.
Okay, so court reaffirmed that Ethereum is commodity, which is good, right? The ETFs are about to start. Here we see it. 40% of Ethereum. And Ethereum. You have to see, why is this relevant? Ethereum is not just any altcoin. It's not like, oh, this is the big altcoin. No, it's going to lead the charge on every big altcoin move, right? And therefore, it's important that Ethereum has the pumpabilities, the pumpamentals to move, and they are really good. So look at this. Ethereum, it's like 40% of Ethereum's supply is basically locked up. So you see here, the red line is the supply on exchanges. So that has just, when Ethereum pumped like to above 3,000, some Ethereum has been sent to the exchanges, but it's not. Let me just put this a little bit more to the side. It's not that much, right? So look at this, and then there is. So this is the supply locked in smart contracts. That is very stable at 14 million. And then you have this supply staked ETH. And look at the staked ETH is just ramping up. So it's just going higher. And that means that ETH is going to go into a supply shock once the ETH ETF is trading. Because people were like, meh, ETH ETF, who cares, right? People really sleep on the fact that there will be an Ethereum ETF. But what happens if these Ethereum ETFs are just going to buy on a random basis like billions of Ethereum? Like, market cap will go higher, right? This Ethereum is all is locked. There's almost nothing on the exchanges, so probably over the course, this just adds to the overall fuel in the market performance that we're going to see. So basically, you have to imagine a couple of layers. You have like the liquidity in general, global liquidity that gives everyone, like the institutions, the retail investors and so on, the power to buy. And then in the cycle, they will start buying, and when they see it going up, more people will take this free money. Now they don't have this money, but when they lower rates and print money, people will start having money as a side effect of all of that. Like when the economy gets rolling, people get raises, entrepreneurs are making more money, stock investors are able to sell their stocks and so on. Like everyone gets, like you can take out a loan cheaper and so on, right? So there's money freed up and everyone will feel it in a lot of side effects, right? So they will pump it into the market, and then these things, they have now additional buy mechanisms like the ETFs, which will help to get these things to higher prices. So this is very interesting. And here, for example, here for the Bitcoin ETF, we see also how these were basically taking over, how all the other ones are taking over, and how Grayscale is decreasing and they've almost stopped now. There's very little outflow, so we will see if constantly Grayscale will be adding Bitcoin to what the others are absorbing, or if it will stop at some point. Yeah, AV Creations, I saw that as well. So Biden, he called, he said, and now you're Vice President Trump. It's like he thinks of something. Probably someone doesn't understand the Freudian switch. Like his advisor is probably saying, "Hey, don't call Zelensky Putin. Just don't call him Putin." And whenever you do this, like don't, it's like it can cause in the brain that you actually think about doing this, right? So yeah. It's really funny. Okay, and then we also have Goldman Sachs going full degen into crypto, right? So look at this. Goldman Sachs is launching 3 tokenizing projects for real RWAs by the end of the year. That is the digital assets chief that says that. So as its peers in traditional finance push deeper into crypto, including BlackRock, Bitcoin ETF, and Fidelity's trading platform, Goldman Sachs is preparing to make a move of its own. This comes as the 150-year-old banking behemoth is seeing a major uptick in interest from clients. Digital Assets Global Head Matthew McDermott told Fortune. So they are going to make a move in this whole space, and I think this is one of the narratives that is going to be played in crypto as well. So because TradFi sees that like all the finance layers in crypto are way superior, they have to reinvent themselves, right? And RWA, like tokenization of assets, is going to be a big thing. And Larry Fink actually started this probably when he said that everything is going to be tokenized. Chainlink is pushing that narrative hard as they are partnering with all of these banks and so on. But overall, I think this is one of the narratives that is not fully developed yet because people are still with their eyes on meme coins. But once this fades, I think RWA will be one of the bigger things. So this is something where we could say, okay, maybe it's worth to analyze especially this market, RWAs, what are the projects, which projects have good fundamentals, which projects have good narratives, and then we can buy them pretty low at the moment. So this is really where we can buy the dip. AV Creation said, don't really like the idea of governments confiscating thousands of Bitcoin, but if they do, they should sell it in a way to avoid disrupting the market. Yeah, I think that comes back to, like, this is what Germany did wrong. They sold it on spot. They could just have made an OTC deal for 50,000. Yeah, sold it a little bit cheaper. And but anyways, I mean, on the other hand, we have to thank them. We have to thank them because they dumped the market so that we can buy more. It will recover after that anyways. So it's just, and as I outlined yesterday, FTX will come in with technically with a stimulus for the whole market of 16 billion, right? So yeah. So a little bit of painted and colored chart, yeah, for us here to look at. I think that's cool, and it also shows that we have really a buy the dip opportunity here. So let's go through this together. So we have a cycle top, purple dot. Yeah, we're not there yet. We have an all-time high break. That is the pink dot, all-time high breaks. We're not, technically we did, but we're not really there yet because we didn't break it like significantly. What is marked here as the all-time high breakage is really when you actually, it's not the all-time high break. Actually, I see this here. It's when you consolidate below all-time high, so we should have that here. But that is marked wrongly. So and then second early top, that is what we had right now, right? So that is the second early top. And first cycle breakdown recovery, that was what we had before, when like after that the ETFs came in and led to our second early top. Bear market breakout is 1 year ago already, or 1.5 years. So we are mid-cycle, definitely. And then in the what is that? Probably something like the RSI or so. So we have what is that? BB percent. Actually, I don't know what that indicator is, but it looks like something like an oversold indicator. It shows us that we breached a lower band, and every time we did this, we pumped hard afterwards, and that is what we are expecting here. According to this, we completed the third phase with the early top, and we should pump to like go beyond all-time high, like previous all-time high now. Significantly, right? So next stage 80K or something like that. We will see if that happens soon. I would say it's probably only going to happen in September, so very likely we still have the entire July and maybe even the entire August to buy at low levels, or at least at sub previous all-time high levels. So for me, definitely that means let's DCA. Terms of altcoins, let's quickly check let's refresh this a little bit. Check the Bitcoin dominance here and move it to the weekly, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. So Bitcoin dominance, actually, as Bitcoin comes down, Bitcoin dominance is red again on the week and probably is going to close. But you see that Bitcoin dominance really doesn't fall at all since it reached this level in April. So April, May, June is completely sideways for Bitcoin dominance, and there is still room. There is still room for another couple of percent. Actually, let me put that on. Yeah, there we go, on logarithmic. We still have a little bit of a move out of this, and this little bit of a move, if it would occur like this, would bring us to the end. Like, this would be until we really come into the territory of where we could say, if it plays out like this, there could be 200 days going on where altcoins just move with Bitcoin but don't outperform Bitcoin, right? So 200 days from here would bring us into, what is that? Yeah, would bring us into January next year. So if we had an altcoin, we would be still really early if we had an altcoin season in January already, January to April next year, but it would be not out of the ordinary. But many people believe if we have this a little bit lengthening cycle and we realign with the cycle, that it can take even longer. So what we could see is something also like that we just range a lot of time and then we drop, right? So, and then look, if it was like this, it would be June, middle of next year or something like that. So this is guesswork, but there and thereabout, something like this could happen, right? And then it's altcoin season. I mean, look, if something happens that we expect this to maintain the pattern, but at some point it will break the pattern, and very likely it will break it to the downside. And if this happens, it would be probably one of the biggest altcoin season bull runs that we ever have, right? So if this happens, I mean, we could also break it to the upside, invalidate this pattern, break it to the upside. But if this happens here, this breakdown, this, like, everyone who is in altcoins will make so much money. Anyways, let's talk about Ecomi. You see here that yesterday I went crazy on the Ecomi mechanics. Why does it always load the others chart? It's not what we want. Where's my gate chart? There's my gate chart. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So Ecomi, actually, everyone always wants to talk about Ecomi. I understand that, but we really don't have so much to talk about. I mean, this is clearly a long-lasting downtrend now, and there is no sign of strong reversal or something like that. Since we peaked here in March into this zone, and we thought that maybe we could break out. Excuse me. We are just forming. We're just lower lows and lower highs, right? And this really is where we are. And I mean, you have this resistance, you failed to break above again. Then you have this resistance, you failed to break above again. You had a rising wedge, fell out, right? A potential bearish retest here. So the idea that we have here is that we really, as a lot of sell pressure, is that we will drop lower again for Ecomi, right? That is the idea that this chart gives us. And on a daily, we're not even oversold, right? So there is room on the daily. So then on the weekly, we have a little bit momentum to the upside in stochastic RSI, but we're not oversold also. So I would say that this takes a long time. Probably, I would even say that Ecomi will not recover until the end of the year unless these factors are fulfilled that we outlined here. So OMI to NFT, exchanges, burns, Web3 catering. Catering to Web3 is crucial because otherwise people will not care about this token again. Anand asked, would you estimate Bitcoin dominance to top in September then? Not necessarily, because you have to see that if we rally in September, then it's very likely that we increase Bitcoin dominance during the time that Bitcoin rallies. Because what happens is, like, imagine you're a trader and you have an altcoin and you rode this altcoin to profits, but then you see that there is a big pattern of Bitcoin Bitcoin is breaking out to the upside. So you're very likely to take some profits in these altcoins and roll it into Bitcoin to ride a wave higher, right? Everyone will roll from altcoins into Bitcoin, so altcoins bleed into Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance goes up. Then at some point in this upwards move, people take some profits on Bitcoin, roll it back into altcoins. So a couple of days after Bitcoin pumps, altcoins follow. But still the dominance stays the same because both go up, right? So money flows into both at the same time. And then at some point when Bitcoin goes really crazy, then more money will flow out of Bitcoin, goes into altcoins, and suddenly all altcoins are starting to outperform Bitcoin. So I think that is what is going to happen, yeah. So I think that once Bitcoin pumps I think if, let's say Bitcoin starts pumping in September, pumps in October, goes into Pumpvember, so all of these months are basically green, and then you have a little bit of a tax harvest, whatever, sell-off in December, but all of these months probably Bitcoin dominance is going to go higher, right? So it could, and it will not be much here, but it will have a huge effect on the numbers of the market. This here is always a game of relations. This is not a chart where the percentage is what matters and the percentage drop-offs are what matter. So let's say Bitcoin goes up 50 billion in market cap and the entire altcoin market goes up 50 billion in market cap. This chart will just not move. It will be the same. So Bitcoin will not dominate the market more, right? Because it's like Bitcoin against the rest of the market. But if Bitcoin goes up 100 billion in market cap and the altcoins only receive 50 billion, Bitcoin dominance will increase, yeah, by I don't know, 0. Or maybe even like 0. a couple of percent, right? So that is how this chart moves. But when it drops off, the altcoins are going to have, but basically you have to see the size of Bitcoin. So to have this drop off significantly, there have to be hundreds of billions suddenly flowing into altcoins, right? And another thing is there are more altcoins now than there were before. And a lot of them are dead. But still, there are constantly new altcoins being created, and they all receive millions. So, but then again, you also have so much more money in circulation that it will make the number go up. Yeah. Yeah, Prophet say yes, and more. Yes, meme coins to the moon. What is Ecomi? Here you mentioned it often. Yeah. Okay, so this is probably yeah. So AV Creations, Ecomi is a coin that I always mention it because actually I started a channel talking about Ecomi. So Ecomi is a token that has been created by the creators of the Veve app. I don't know if you know the Veve app. Let me know in the chat if you know Veve. But Veve basically is, let me see here if I can pull this up. So here, Veve. Yeah. So Veve Digital Collectibles, right, is born in the NFT market and is basically premium licensed collectibles. They are currently on Immutable X. And I mean, you see it here, like the Hulk, the X-Men, right? These are AR photos with the NFTs, with the collectibles. They also launched with Marvel Comics, so they have the premium licensed collectibles exactly with these brands. So these brands are launching them on Veve. Veve is the marketplace. So, and Ecomi was supposed to be the driving coin of that marketplace, so that you can buy NFTs with this coin. And because these NFTs are not any JPEGs, but really biggest brands, like, I mean, they have Marvel, they have Disney, they have Star Wars, they have Lamborghini, they have a partnership with stamps from USPS, they have DC collectibles, like Batman, first Batman was on Veve, for example. So the initial idea, and that's why the chart looks like this, is that all of these NFTs can be purchased with Ecomi. But then they started to delay, and they were not able to execute, and maybe also they didn't want to launch anything in the bear market then. And then sentiment went really, really bad in this coin, right? And now they are starting to bring the first utility for the token, like that you can stake the token to gain points where you can gain an advantage in the app, right? So yeah, that's basically and the NFT narrative is really not here. So that is what is basically what Ecomi and Veve is all about. Yeah, this is why I mention it so often, because I really like the basic idea of the Ecomi token, but I don't like the execution. Yeah, NFT narrative will come, but it's usually in the end of an altcoin season, which is why the focus now is to analyze where are we in the cycle. Yeah, we are in Bitcoin season, and then there will be an altcoin season. At some point, when Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin and money flows into Ethereum, then it is time to look at it, and we will see it here on this channel. We will analyze here on this channel almost every day, and it's going to be good. I mean, and this is the time for me, like a certain amount of my portfolio is allocated to Ecomi, because if sentiment is so bad and if they're going to execute all of that, still there is a good chance that this will do some nice multiples. You are an Ethereum maxi, I love it. Yes, I think Ethereum, like, not every time the best tech wins, right? Not every time the best tech wins. And Ethereum is not the best tech. There is a battle going on. Only two projects are really relevant, and that is Ethereum and Solana. So you have the EVM and the SVM, basically, that in tech-wise is going to battle. And both are good, and both can be doing well. But because Ethereum is around so long, it's the most trusted ecosystem to build on, right? And so this is why Ethereum will be doing well and perform well in the cycle again. But if you would say, am I an Ethereum maxi in terms of my portfolio allocation? No. Actually, I don't have so much Ethereum. I'm way more in Bitcoin because I'm a Bitcoin maxi, because in the end, every altcoin is nice and we want to have it as a vehicle. But what matters in the end is, to me, how much Bitcoin can I buy with my profits, right? So that is in the next bear market. That is my overall thought, right? But I am very bullish on Ethereum. Anan says, I can't see new all-time highs for OMI this cycle. So the good thing is that the only really good thing about Ecomi is, and there's nothing that the team can do to that, is that let's get the thing out here to the all-time high. It's really not that difficult to reach the all-time high, right? It's like a 20x or so to reach the all-time highs. Let me see here. Let me go into logarithmic, by the way. It's easier to measure. So you go from here where we are, and you go to the all-time highs. Actually, it's a 26x. That's not too difficult. And I think this is what many people fail to believe, especially when people came into the market in the last bull run, at the end of the last bull run. So when altcoins were already firing, they didn't see how much some altcoins actually went up from their bottom. So look at Matic, for example. When Matic went from 1 cent to $1 or so, right? So it went 100x in no time, right? It was on the top coins. A 20 to 25x is really not that difficult for a coin. Now, the good thing is also, in comparison to other coins, like, for example, Cadena, or what is another example, Filecoin, OMI has not really been diluted more than it already is. So all the token unlocks, they have happened here in the last bull run, right? And that's also part of why we dumped so low. But there is no new tokens in the system, whereas some other projects, they just brought out more tokens into the circulation, right? I mean, if the founders here don't sell off Ecomi, which they basically can't anymore, there is, Ecomi. Basically it's this: there are some tokens like Cadena, when they're diluted, if they would go back to their all-time high market cap, they would not go to their all-time high price-wise. But if Ecomi goes back to their all-time high in the market cap, it's also the all-time high in the price. You get what I'm saying? So there are no new tokens here. And in fact, if they would finally introduce the burn mechanic on top of OMI to NFT, we would have a decreasing supply, and that is what really makes it attractive. And then on the other hand, you have to integrate some Web3 thingies to really be able to purchase the collectibles, right? So that is what we're waiting for, and it's a simple gamble, and I call it a gamble, right? It's a simple bet, I would say. Either you bet on the team to deliver into a bull run, and when the narrative comes back, or you don't believe it. And that based on that, you have to make your investment decision, right? Or your gamble decision, however you want to call it. And then you can say, okay, so this token is really capable of reaching all-time high, 26x. Are there tokens that can do better? Maybe. But this has a real-life app in front of it, and if the connection is made, this token will be tied to the biggest brands in that you can find in the NFT space. No other project has bigger brands. No other project has a bigger accumulation of brands. They are dominating absolutely in terms of brands. And actually, the Veve app, I mean, they just sold out. This is crazy, right? They just sold out this drop Hulk 181 comic. This was one comic. So AV Creations, if you're still here, this is one comic. This comic, they sold it yesterday, and they made $192,500 gross revenue. The gross revenue is almost 200K. in the middle of a bear market with between 1 and 2,000 daily active users, they were able to sell a Marvel comic on 10,000 editions at a price point of 20 gems. So, yeah. James asks, do you like Shiba? Yeah, kind of. I think it's a cool thing because they have such a big community and they actually did something with the token. But I don't own any SHIB. I don't know. I think it's actually is another coin like that. I don't know if it's inflationary, deflationary at the moment. No idea. AV Creation, that's the digital comic. So that it's official Marvel. It's official Marvel. The physical counterpart of this comic is already older, and it's actually worth $18,000 or so if you buy it in a high CGC grade. So it's crazy. $192,000 in a bear market for an NFT project is absolutely crazy. So there are a couple of things that you need to know. These comics, they are coming out since 2 years already. They started off with Marvel's comic MC1. So, and then we can look at this. I can show you. So this is, the site is called Stacker, and you can inform yourself on the site without, you don't have to log in but maybe you want AV creations, you without allocating any big money, you maybe want to just download the Veve app and make an account and just browse the market a little bit and just see for yourselves if there are brands and stuff that interests you. I mean, it's like that. Either the NFT space comes back and then these things will go to the moon, or they won't, and or it won't, and then we got wrecked with our portfolio allocation, right? But what I can show you is, on the site, you can look at what sold late on the market. So, for example, take this partner statue, 4,000 mint, right? So this partner statue, I think there are, how many are there of the partner statue? There are like 3,000 or so of them. The floor price is $1,300, and so this is more or less the price that this sells. So in the bear market, also the secondary market. So basically how this works, everyone needs to be patient now because we're explaining to AV Creation how it works. So you buy this on drop, and then you get it allocated into your portfolio. And then you can either hold it, you can read it. AV Creation says never made sense to him. That's fine, but just listen and take in what I'm telling you. So this comic, for example, you got it into your vault, and you can then open it in augmented reality or just in a reader, and you can read the comic. You can turn the pages and you can actually read the comic. In AR, you tap the side of the comic, and it turns a page. And you can actually read it. And the funny thing is, I showed this to my grandmother, and she was like, immediately she went with the camera more to the virtual comic because the letters were small, and she was just able to zoom in basically, so to go with the camera closer to the comic and able to read it, right? So I think that is really cool. And so what you can do, let's say you got one of these rarities on drop, you can then try to sell it on a secondary market, and other people that maybe got nothing on a drop, they can buy it on a secondary market. Yeah. Okay. James says, did you enjoy comic books when you were a child? Yes, absolutely, but I did not read Marvel comics. So now I enjoy the Marvel comics because of Veve, right? So yeah, it's a cool thing. Actually, Veve made me become a digital collector, which is interesting. And I bought my first ever physical Marvel comics after I had my first digital. So just to own a physical as well. And then I bought a CGC graded one, like whatever, like Powers of X, something that is not really worth anything, but I just wanted to have one of those as well. Yeah, technology of NFT. I mean, digital ownership in this age will be very important as well. In Dallas, Texas, USA, someone stole $2 million worth of sports cards in broad daylight. Yeah, that will be very difficult to happen with a project like Veve, right? AV says, I hear ya, I know, it's big, thanks. just don't get me wrong, not shilling it to you. I'm just trying to explain to people that are not familiar with why we're talking about this so often. I mean, everyone, if you're not into NFTs, that's absolutely fine. I think not everyone has to participate in every part of this market. So, yeah. Chill it. Yeah, exactly. It's like the queen in what was her name in Game of Thrones? Like what was her name? Like when she was when the priestess was like going after her, it's like shame. It's like Cersei. That was her name. So and then it's like chill. I'm coming after each and every one of you, like chilling. Yeah, AV Creation said, got to head out. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for being here. Actually, that is also, yeah, that scene is absolutely amazing. That is also for me the point where I have to say, I have to jump. Where's my cam? I have to jump into the hamster wheel now, earn some money so that I can ape it into Veve collectibles or into crypto in general. So this will be it, guys. Make sure to smash up the like button right now. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Notifications on. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And I see you in the next live stream or video. Bye.